record reflect the presence of counsel for the parties. The defendant is present. The jury is present. Ladies and gentlemen, just to recap discussions relative to schedule. We have a break coming up from, because we have one or two vacations that we knew about. You folks let us know about it. That was from the 26th, that's tomorrow, through the 31st. In other words, including the 31st, that's Monday. So we will not be convening during that period. We recognize that we have one juror who has a November 7th through December 6th vacation planned, and we will not stand in the way of that. I want to assure that juror of that. And we also have an issue that's come up today that I'm not able to discuss with you. It's a matter that I have to take up out of your presence. And my understanding is that if that's the case, you would prefer to be excused for the day to return November 1st. I just want to make sure, because you folks have been so good with us. I can't thank you enough for all of your cooperation. I just want to make sure that I'm getting that preference correct. If anybody thinks I've got it wrong, feel free to put up a hand. Okay, no one's so indicating. All right, I understand that. All right. And we have made substantial progress thanks to your efforts in getting through the evidence. So there is light at the end of the tunnel. So at any rate, in light of all of that, what I'll do then is I'll instruct you to return on November 1st, 2016 at 10 a.m. We'll iron out this issue that you should not be concerned with during the time that we have, such that we can reconvene and proceed with the trial on November 1st, 2016. And I do realize that with one of our jurors we have that vacation schedule, and I just need to have a further discussion with the attorneys. I need you to, I think you do understand. You've been very cooperative. I can't do anything unilaterally when questions come up. I need to make sure that I involve the parties in a discussion, and make sure that we've had a full discussion about anything that happens during the trial. So at any rate, we're going to take this recess then, and I just want to take this opportunity to thank all of you. You folks have really been very dedicated jurors and outstanding citizens in terms of your cooperation throughout the trial of the case. I'm going to ask you to continue to keep in mind all of my cautionary instructions that really remain, they are, in effect, extremely important, and we want to make sure we don't spend any time on those issues. So please keep those in mind, and don't let anybody have any contact with you about the case, and likewise avoid any contact with anyone about the case, and make sure that all of the other instructions that I've provided you, probably more time, you probably repeat them yourselves at this point, but please keep all of them in mind because they remain in effect and will be in effect through the entire trial, through the conclusion of the case. I'll let you know. I have a special instruction I read when those rules are no longer in effect, and it'll be real clear when we reach that point. And as you know, you can't discuss the case even among yourselves, and I make it very clear when that changes. In other words, when you can go to the jury room and start to deliberate, I'll make it very clear to you when we reach that point. So thank you so much for all of your cooperation. I can't thank you enough. And those that are traveling or on vacation, have a safe holiday and happy Halloween to all of you. Okay. And thank you so much. We'll see you on Tuesday, November 1st, 10 a.m. Thank you so much. We are in recess. Oh, absolutely, but not just yet, please. The jury's excused. The record reflect that the jurors are no longer present in the courtroom. Oh, wait. Okay. Bailiff had just walked in, so the door opens. So I just wanted. Okay, we're okay. There are no jurors present in the courtroom.
For the record, quite frankly, I'm standing here baffled as to why nothing's happening for the rest of the day. This is the second day in a row that we've had to send these jurors home with apologies for wasting their time. All in the context of a trial that's gone on for months, and all to revolve around the schedule of a career criminal who's a captive audience of the state, and now we have to accommodate that, even though I suggested a stipulation to curtail that. I'm baffled as to why we're wasting time, and the court's telling these jurors that they don't want to waste their time, that we don't want to waste their time. This is basically the state having their cake and eating it too for not having their witnesses available or lined up to say what they want them to say. And now they're going to clamp down on him while he's in jail, and while the court has already warned me about how far I can go on my cross.
I have not done that.
Well, the court knows my practical limitation.
A misstatement. I told you that you have to anticipate. I told all of you that you folks have to think about that issue. I've certainly not done that.
I mean, the whole other issue here is that Mr. Rivera is injecting himself into the case by personally negotiating with Mr. Ellis at this point. It's stirring up a hornet's nest there, and yet this court is still willing to send this jury home, thanking them for wasting their time, basically. And I strongly object that here we are, the second day in a row with the state unprepared, and them being given a gift to go correct what they need to go correct.
Thank you for that display, Mr. Upton. Perhaps you should have been the same kind of advocate when we were on the bench discussing these issues, because you certainly weren't sounding that way.
Well, because
you were talking to me earlier. But at any rate,
well, I'm
talking right now, all right? I'll let you speak, and I've tried to treat you with respect throughout the entire trial. I respect all of you and the work you're doing, but to a certain extent, that those remarks that you just made right now, I don't know if they're made for the benefit of the court or benefit of the audience. But at any rate,
it has nothing to do with the audience. It's frustration because this is the second day in a row where I've had to prep for nothing. The court is willing to apologize to everybody except defense for wasting time, apparently.
Mr. Upon, more than one occasion during this trial, you have asked me for time. So please, let's not go there. I try to accommodate both sides, and soon you may be beginning your case, and you may have issues. So I'm not trying to accommodate anyone, other than I'm trying to. We've got an issue that was brought up, and I realize it's gonna take some time to work through that issue. And my concern was to, you know, what we do with the jurors while we're working through that issue, because it's gonna be, it may turn out to be contentious, and just based on what's happened in the last 3 or 4 minutes, I can just picture how contentious it may end up being. But at any rate, the jurors have expressed a preference that I am comfortable with. I think it's fair, it's appropriate, and I'm just trying to do what I think is the right thing. And I realize you may disagree, Mr. Rivera may disagree, but this is not intended to accommodate either of you, but just to keep the jury in mind here and their concerns. And we're still going to have to work through this issue, because this isn't resolved yet.
Oh, but, and I say everything here, you know, and I apologize for raising my voice to the extent that I have, but I am frustrated. You know, this is the second day that's been wasted already.
This court is frustrated about that too. I mean, you know that.
Yet it's still going to give the state its cake and eat it too.
No, that's not what I'm trying to do. You know that. That's not what I'm
What
trying.
I ultimately want to say is I mean no disrespect to the court. It's very frustrating to have nothing happen when I'm trying to come up with creative solutions to do so. I had one additional comment relative to what the court was saying. But ultimately, what I want to say to the court is I mean no disrespect.
I know you. You've tried to
I feel like I'm being disrespected by the court's actions, really. And I know that the court is always telling me with due respect, but when it makes a decision like this that does not benefit us at all, and there doesn't seem to be an excuse. And my only other thing I'd like to put on the record is that it seems like the court is hinging this decision, at least partly, on its administrative role relative to drug court. And what it wants to see happen with Mr. Ellis.
No,
in terms of letting the natural course progress, whether it's a bad or not. And I hope that the court is not injecting any of its role as drug court administrative judge in trying to cushion Jeffrey Ellis into a nice spot in that context while trying to reconcile it with its ruling in this trial.
I will assure you that that's not happening. Those are two separate arenas. The drug court is a therapeutic court, and it's got this trial is an entirely different arena. And
but as the court knows, the issue that is being accommodated right now is whether he gets going to have proper housing within the context of his drug court status by the time the state intends to call him as a witness again.
Well, you know, I really don't have any comment on that, other than whatever happens with respect to drug court happens with respect to whatever is appropriate under the circumstances, and will bear no relationship to what happens here. I was inclined to order that we proceed today, but I also recognize that doing so is going to take some time. So, yeah, I'm not talking about any one individual. It's just you both are clearly on a different path with respect to resolving this issue related to this one witness. And that would take some time, and that's going to be, and that is not going to be a good use of the jurors' time. The vacation was already scheduled. The break from the 26th to the 31st was in place long ago, and everyone knew about it. of course, not going to get involved in any negotiations with any witness about whether this is going to be like the that is not going to be the case. So at any rate, I think I'm going to need to have a further discussion with you folks concerning the next trial day and exactly how we're going to proceed. Mr. Rivera is in the process of securing, according to his representation, securing a witness from AT&T to relative to cell tower information. As the parties know, there was an objection to that portion of the foundation. So that is something that is ongoing and would prevent us from concluding the trial today anyway. So at any rate, I may very well be contacting you during this break with the jurors, and I'm not the jurors, but the jurors' vacation, so that we can bring some closure to the issue related to the remaining witnesses.
Your Honor, the state would respectfully request of what we discussed at the bench conference with respect to the witness that is not the AT&T custodian, that remain at the bench and not be shared with either, I guess, with anyone that wasn't part of that conversation at the bench for the reasons stated at the bench. And I believe counsel had no objection to that.